What's up, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video, and I'll be reacting to three freaky true dating app horror stories. Now, I believe this is from Mr. Nightmare, so I will put a link in the description down below so you can go check out the video yourself. I haven't been on a dating app in years. Like the last one I was on was Tinder. And even then, I never actually went on any dates with a dating app. It was always just talking a bit, maybe some FaceTime, and then that was kind of it. Like we uh, never actually went on a date or anything, which is funny because the ones that I talked to, they were they messaged me and they were always like far away. Like my search, which is funny because my search was always someone like within, like no more than like 100 miles away. I was like, that's manageable. But I guess their search was just kind of like wherever. Because I had one chick talk to me. She was in, what was it? It was in California. I can't remember the city. It was in San Francisco, or was, I think it was San something, maybe in San Bernardino or something like that. But she was in California, and we talked for a little bit. Me and her never FaceTime though. There was one chick. She was in Montana. I thought that was interesting because I don't think I've ever even met anyone that was born in Montana. I've known a couple people who lived there for a little while, but they were in the military. So um, never anyone that was like born there or moved there voluntarily. But but yeah, it was another girl somewhere else, but like me and her then like we talked a little bit back and forth texting and that was it. But yeah, never any horror stories or freaky horror stories in this instance. But I don't know why. Anytime the date when they hear freaky here, it make me think of something else like freaky horror story. Like you met someone who was um like in sadomasochism or something like that. They fucking pinhead. All right, but anyway, here we go.
I'm very anti dating apps, but I guess I'm biased because of the nightmarish experience I had with Tinder. I've only met up with 3 people ever off Tinder. The first 2 experiences were nothing special. I wasn't excited about either of the girls, and there were no second dates. But compared to the third meetup, oh boy, in comparison, the first 2 went phenomenally. I matched this brunette girl
Is
named
this Mr.
Annette.
Nightmare?
She
Voice
had up 4
sounds
pictures,
different.
3 of which she was posing alone in what looked like her backyard. The 4th one was in front of a pond. At the time, I didn't see it as a red flag that she was alone in all of her pictures. Honestly, why would I? But she was decently attractive, at least in my standards. So I talked to her, and it got to the point where she asked what I was doing that night. And when I said nothing, she asked if she could come over and hang out. Considering my bedroom in my parents' house is in the basement with a separate entrance, it would work out rather nicely. We set a time for her to come over. When the time came, she texted me literally right
Basically,
on the
like you
dot
got your
that
own
she was
little apartment
outside.
now.
Punctual, to say the least. I led her in the side basement door entrance, and we walked downstairs. I tried to make the greeting not awkward, but right off the bat, first impression, she seemed weird. Her responses were short, her laugh was weird, and we sat down on my bed
That
and asked her
laugh
how
was
long the
weird.
drive was. She laughed, like she didn't even answer my question. She just laughed like I told a joke. And as
She's
she laughed, she
oh
looked right at
you.
me, her eyes still open wide.
I'm gonna
It
murder
was
you. That's what
uncomfortable,
she
and
said.
I already knew I wasn't going to vibe with this girl. I wanted her out ASAP. I turned
Damn.
the TV on in the background for filler, and I pretended to be laughing at the TV because of the constant awkward silences, and she never once batted an eye to look at the TV. She just watched me the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
I was able to wrap it up quickly by pretending I got a text about going into work early the next day, and I implied I needed to go to sleep. She seemed like she didn't want to leave. It was extremely awkward. But I managed to get her to follow me out the basement door.
But bitch, I gotta go to work.
She was finally gone. I had to ask myself, what did I just put myself through? Not even 5 minutes after she left, she texted me, "Are you sure you have to go to bed? I was having fun." I read the text and sighed.
Were you?
I threw my phone on the bed to charge while I went to get food upstairs. When I got back, I had 3 more texts from her, 2 being question marks, the last one being hello with more question marks.
Oh boy.
This girl was clearly nuts, so I blocked her. Done and done. I went to bed an hour later.
That's what you think.
I woke in the middle of the night, like I often do. I'm a light sleeper. It's really annoying. Waking up randomly isn't weird for me.
Or a
I
dildo.
instinctively felt around for my phone to check what time it was. But my phone wasn't by its normal spot on the ledge charging, and I 100% remembered putting it there. So I got up and started looking around for my phone. I turned on the bedside strip of red LED lights I had hung on the wall to light up the room just a bit. I couldn't find it though, and I'm kind of the person who will let that bother me until I find it. I went upstairs to grab the landline phone and bring it down so I could call my number. When I dialed my number, I heard it ringing from inside the boiler/laundry room, which was connected to my room. I entered the boiler room, and there was my phone left on the washer machine, causing the entire machine to vibrate as it rang. I knew this was bizarre because I didn't do laundry that night. I didn't even remember going in there.
Yeah, how bizarre.
I picked up my phone to see a bunch of new messages from some random number. I opened the texts to see 2 pictures of me sleeping.
Oh boy.
Above the pictures were 2 texts saying, "Nice, good job blocking me." The second one saying, "Lock your door next time." And I realized what an idiot I was.
Yeah.
I was so anxious to get her out of my room that I didn't even lock the door when she left. Then I can't say for certain, but I felt like I wasn't alone in the room.
You didn't check.
I just felt
your
another
doors
presence,
locked before you go to sleep.
and I had a feeling that she may have been hiding behind the cylinder boiler in the darkest corner of the room. But I didn't go look. I went upstairs to get my parents and call the police. Given that the girl was dumb enough, or crazy enough, to leave a digital footprint, tracking her and getting charges pressed on her was easy. Her name wasn't even Annette. Her real name was Sylvana. Her charges were a breaking and entering charge and a stalking and harassment charge. I, of course, got a restraining order, and I've never heard from that girl again.
Shit crazy as hell. She said, "Lock your door next time, idiot." She should take a safe shit.
I've tried all the major
You
dating
not
apps,
check your
and I never
phone,
really
your,
have much
your
luck
door,
on them.
Make sure it's locked before you go to
My
sleep.
friend told me he was having luck on this app, hot or not, so I gave it a try. And right off the bat, I was getting a lot more likes, albeit from girls I didn't really find attractive at all. Still, on my first batch of free swipes, I matched this one cute blonde girl named Julia. I'll spare the details of our conversation, but it went excitingly well. It was one of those rare matches where the girl was attractive and very receptive to my messages, seeming like she was actually enjoying talking to me. We quickly moved to Snapchat. I asked her for her number, but she said let's talk on Snapchat instead. I was fine with that. I added her on Snap and she added me back. Her Snap score was low, like under 1,000. So right away I was suspicious and upset that this may have been too good to be true like I thought.
My Snap
She messaged
score
me,
is
and
low.
I messaged back being blunt,
like
asking her to snap a
300
selfie of herself just for my safety. I told her there's a lot of catfish profiles going on,
I'm not on
so
that
I can't
like
be too
that.
careful. She opened the message right away, but didn't reply for a minute. I thought for sure the account was going to block me any second. But instead, to my surprise, I got a notification that I got a snap from Julia. I opened the snap, and it was the same blonde-haired girl from the pictures. Still, I wasn't convinced, so I asked her to give me a thumbs up or a peace sign. She opened the chat. I was waiting to see if she'd block me this time. She didn't respond for a couple minutes, until finally, she sent another snap. I opened it, and it was half her face smiling, holding up a peace sign. That was enough for me. I snapped her back, and then we messaged for a little while. We eventually made plans to hang out. She invited me over to her house,
That's the most
which was across
generic
town,
thing,
not
though.
too far away.
A thumb or a piece of
She said she was home alone and that it wouldn't be a problem. She gave me an exact address. I noticed she had her Snap map on, so I did a little check to make sure her address matched her Snap location, and it seemed to check out. I told her I'd be over in a few. I changed into decent clothes, sprayed on some cologne, combed my hair, and got in my car to head over. I remember thinking I
Say,
may
I'm
have
about to
overdid it with
get
the cologne.
laid.
She snapped me while I was driving, asking if I was on the way. I told her yes. She read it immediately but didn't respond. I got to the house. It had the number 22 written clear as day next to the door. I messaged her that I'm here. She didn't open the snap though, so I decided to just go ring the bell. There were no cars in the driveway, and the grass seemed like it hadn't been cut in a few weeks. I rang the bell, but she didn't answer.
I feel like that would
So I
get
started
annoying.
knocking really
Keep
loud.
snapping.
When she still didn't answer, I went back to Snap and tried calling her using that. It just kept ringing though, she didn't answer. Was I just pranked? I suddenly heard a woman's voice yelling something at me across the street. For some reason, I imagined it to be Julia at first, till I realized it was an older woman yelling, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" I began walking back to the street and called back, "I'm meeting someone." She said back to me at a lower volume now that we were closer that I have the wrong house, nobody lives there.
Oh, they
I
got
asked
him
the
out the
address of the
house so
house,
they can
and the
rob
address she
him.
told me matched the address this Julia girl gave me. I thanked her and got in my car. I went to try to message Julia one more time, but she blocked me. I felt like I was played for a fool. They unmatched me on Hot or Not too. Luckily, I took screenshots of the profile before that, because I sent some to one of my friends before driving to the house. When I got home, I sent screenshots to my friend group chat with like 8 other people, asking if anyone knew her. One guy, my friend Darren, said that's Lisa, a girl who overdosed on heroin 2 years back. When he said that, another friend in the group chat confirmed he was right.
Shit.
I got goosebumps because the snaps I got were from a girl who matched that Lisa girl completely. I told my friends, and they thought either I was crazy or the situation was crazy. I'm without a doubt certain the girl in those snaps was Lisa. How this happened, I have no earthly idea. Better question, why was I led to that house? I can't even try to imagine.
Yeah, that's weird. And then blocked. I was thinking they was trying to get him out of his house, and then they were at his place and they were gonna rob him, or he rob his house while
In
he's
high
gone.
school, I was in a big graduating class. So for that reason, I didn't get to know a lot of my
That was
classmates on
weird.
a personal
Is
level.
that supposed to be some ghost
Using
shit?
dating apps in college, though, I was able to match and kind of connect with a lot of the girls I'd never really spoken to back in high school. I was using my app of choice when I matched this girl, Maria. She was in my grade in high school. I followed her on Instagram and Snap already, but I never really got to know her in high school. I sent her the first message and asked her how she'd been. I talked to her about high school a lot and how it was funny that we never really spoke or had any classes together. She said we should hang out that night. I asked if she'd want to meet somewhere for drinks or food, but she said she's down to just come hang at my place if that's cool. Honestly, I like that idea even better.
She's trying to get
I
to
told her
dead.
sure. She asked if my
Trying to get
parents
them
were
that
home.
long.
I told her no,
Good.
only my sister. Then I gave her my address. She said she'd let me know when she's on her way. Then it was just a waiting game. I waited and waited for the notification saying Maria sent you a new message. In fact, it was going on past an hour. I sent a follow-up message on Tinder, but she didn't reply. A few minutes later, I checked her Instagram page and saw she posted a story a few minutes ago. It was a meme. Was she ignoring me now? I checked her Snap story, which was posted within half an hour, and she was apparently with her friend, another girl from our high school. I didn't understand. Was she coming or not? I commented on her story. Are you still coming later? She opened it a few minutes later and replied saying, "What are you talking about?"
Oh,
I repeated
shit.
the question, then added a reference to the conversation on the app. She replied, "I don't have that app. Send me the profile." So I did.
Oh,
And
God,
she told me
it's
right away it was a
catfish.
catfish and to report it.
Catfish says.
I did so, and I think Tinder automatically unmatched the profile after that. But I wasn't concerned about someone using this girl's pictures. I was concerned someone had my address and knew my parents weren't home. I made sure every door was locked. I truly was expecting something to happen that night, but it was getting pretty late, and I was starting to feel a little more relaxed. When my guard was down, that's when it happened. A horrific scream from my little sister's room. I jumped off the couch to go run to her room. She opened the door just as I made it to the room, and we met at the doorway. She had this horrified look on her face, like she just saw a demon. She screamed that there's someone outside her window. I couldn't believe it. She ran upstairs while I went to her window to confirm it. There was no one out there now, but I knew it wasn't a coincidence. I tried to call my parents, but I couldn't get a hold of either of them. My sister slept in my room with me that night.
What the
because she
hell
was
wrong with
scared.
your parents?
I only went to bed after waiting downstairs for an hour, listening for anything possible. When I was finally in bed, that was when I heard a noise. My sister heard it too, because we both sat up at the exact same time. Our parents weren't supposed to be back that night. I went to lock the bedroom door and then got 911 on the phone. I whispered into the phone that I was certain we were currently the victims of a break-in. I told my sister to be quiet when she started making crying noises. Footsteps approached the door. Then someone tried twisting the doorknob.
Oh boy.
Then they started banging on the
Oh,
door.
are they there for you?
And in a deep, angry-sounding voice, a man said, "I know you're in there. I can smell you." The 911 operator heard it, and she told me to hide in the closet with my sister. I waved my sister over to the closet, and she came. We sat in there quietly the best we could, but he kept banging and banging on the door, and my sister cracked. She cried out, "The police are coming, leave us alone." The banging stopped, and we heard the man laugh. Then there was silence. Next thing we knew, the police were outside, and the operator told me to quickly get to the front door if the coast was clear to let the police in. The police then did a thorough investigation of the house, which was clear. The entry and exit point was my parents' bedroom window, which he climbed through off the backyard awning. My little sister screaming about the police must have scared him off.
They didn't think to lock it because
The police
it's on the
recommended we
second
sleep
floor.
somewhere else, so we went to my friend Joe's house. Ever since then, I always verify whoever I'm talking to from online is actually who they say they are.
He messaged that girl. She was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You supposed to be coming over my house." No, I'm not. Man, you almost got fucked up. You and your sister. I didn't even realize that was the end of the video. But yeah, that's scary. And I know that's one thing I kind of why I lock my door at night, because I'm like, I always think like it's gonna be some fucking night stalker or some shit gonna come in my room and stab me in the sternum. Because that would horrify me if I'm in my room, all of a sudden my doorknob starts like turning, and then someone literally just go banging on the door, and then knocking and then banging like they trying to get in. Oh man, that would horrify me. I mean, my windows I can actually open them. Like it's a way to open from the inside where you can actually open it and as far as so you can clean the outside without having to be outside and get on a ladder or anything like that. But I can get out and it's just I've jumped off higher things, so it's not that far fall. But you see, it's all every time when you be trying to get your dick wet, somebody always gotta fuck it up. You out there and it's almost always dudes. Cause dudes, we will do some of the dumbest shit. Like we would go up, we even go against our better judgment. We'd be thinking about like, I shouldn't do this, but I might get laid, so I'm gonna do it. And you go do it, and then you like sometimes it works out. You get laid, or nothing bad happened, but nothing good happened either. But you're just neutral. But still, like you gotta be careful that you get your ass get jumped. Uh, Hopefully, it's just a robbery and not a robbery and rape. Because I remember when I was in Afghanistan, uh, people were getting like raped on base by other service members, like shit. Like I had to, it was happening so often that they told me to put it in my briefing because I would brief like people flying into the base, and only people who gonna be there for like at least a week. Um, and I would tell them like, hey, this is a certain area where people have been getting gang raped, and I think at that point, I think they were all men. I was like, and it's like you need to be. They was talking about using a buddy system, or just not going, walking. out at night in areas that aren't well lit and stuff like. Because the particular area was like a lot of they didn't have any light, so it was really dark over there. And I was like, what? I was like, on a base, and not even like a huge base at that. It's like it's one thing for to be raped like on a base, even in like not necessarily have to be in the U.S., but like Ramstein, which is in Germany or something, like or well, I think it's another Aviano that's in Italy. Like those bases are pretty huge. I think Ramstein is actually like one of the largest Air Force bases there is. Might be the largest, but at that you can kind of expect it because those bases are huge. But in like a small base where it is, well, you can't go off of it either, unless like you doing outside the wire type stuff. And it's basically in a big clearing where it's just a big wide area all the way up and surrounded by mountains. So you like, wait a minute, it's people raping people, like what the like you be like what? And on a base that we can't leave. Any when you leave, you gotta come back because ain't nowhere to go. Yeah, but anyway, hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell where you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. See y'all next time. Peace.